Welcome back to part 2 of our Seeking the Past. And we're heading off to Dent Village. Dent Village dates from around about the 10th century, I believe, and this whole area was settled by the Norse. And the name itself is in some dispute. It probably from Denet, D-E-N-E-T, which is possibly French. But whatever that historical naming is, it's an absolutely beautiful little village and well worth a visit. The Heritage Centre, and it's quite famous for its knitters. They're called the Terrible Knitters of Dent. A most peculiar name, but they used to be. These women used to knit like mad, and that's the River Dee over on the left-hand side there, very full of flood water from all the snow and ice. And so yes, we're coming into Dent Village now, and when we get there, there's a car park over on the left if you want to visit the Heritage Centre. When we come into the village, we're going to park up on the cobbles and have a little walk around. Well, those cobbles are about to start any minute now. I wonder what those cottages are like inside. Well, some of them are holiday lets and B&B. Just pulled in for that farmer tearing past on his quad bike with his trailer. He's got a job of work to do, I haven't. I'm just out to enjoy myself, and I hope you'll be enjoying yourselves too. These are the cobbles. A couple of lovely pubs here. Always very wary about cobbles, having come off on some once. They do tend to get a bit slippery. One of the pubs over there. Originally this was the West Riding of Yorkshire, but it's now been taken into Cumbria. But I think we still think of it as Yorkshire. I do. Right, to have a little bit of a walk around and have a look at some of the buildings. Lovely green bin there. Does not do a lot for it, does it? Still, look at that. It's lovely, isn't it? I think these two girls must have been staying for the weekend, off to go home. And there's the drinking water, famous there. Another pub just in the distance up there. The Sun Inn. I noticed too there's a cyclist touring club sign up there on the right hand side, up on the wall. Welcome cyclists. There's quite a few of those in the Dales. Those plaques were awarded. We welcome cyclists. A date from the 1920s, 1930s. Right, to have a slow ride back out. and then we head off towards Sedbergh, but we'll turn off before we reach Sedbergh because I want to explore a little lane which I've had a look at on the map. And I did actually try to do it once before. I say I tried to do it, I thought about doing it, and I realised I didn't actually know where it would come out. But since looking at the map, I do now know. And after this ride, I shall be doing it again. And I hope you enjoy that. In some ways it's actually nicer, the fact that it is wet. Those cobbles show up much more colour when they're, all stones do, don't they, when they're wet rather than being dry. So when we rode through here before, it was dry and they didn't have the same effect at all. Beautiful buildings. It's back on the tarmac road now. You'll notice a bit further up here on the left hand side there's a semaphore signal has been put up. There he is now heading out of the village. This is beautiful Dent Dale. At the moment the River Dee is over on the right hand side, but we cross over a bridge soon. It passes under and then it's over on the left hand side. And when we turn off to that lane that I told you about, there's a chance to see it again down there. Thank you for all your comments about part 1 of this ride. It was lovely to receive them. I'm pleased that you've been enjoying these, even the stories. Some of you, especially the stories. That's nice. Makes it worthwhile. Just coming up to that bridge over the Dee now. A bit more snow up there. It's all very wet, as you might imagine. First of all snow, and then a lot of rain, which has cleared most of it away. This is a lovely little road along here. This engine just purrs away so beautifully, and the exhaust note on the Hunter is a little bit less muted. It's got it's still a very pleasant. It's not too barky, but barky, is that a word? But it's just got a lovely burbly sort of quality to it. The Meteor was a lovely sound too, but much more, much softer, more gentle. I've certainly noticed a difference in the way that I can move the Hunter around when we get into some sort of awkward road surfaces, avoiding potholes and things like that. It just responds nicely. So well pleased. I wonder what the old aerial Colt would have made of these road surfaces now. They're in a shocking state. It's hardly surprising given the size and the weight of modern cars. What tractors they are, in my view. Some of them aren't, of course. They're much smaller and more like my VW Beetle there called Beetle, which they still drive today. And I know that Chris down in the Royal Enfield Club, South Lancs, he's got a lovely little Morris, dating from the mid-60s. What more do you need? And I don't know if you, I mean obviously you do get delivery lorries along here, but they must pound, well they do pound these roads. This lovely farmhouse, look at the number of windows in that, gorgeous. It's a big place, isn't it? Climbing a bit now. Engines chugging away as these engines do. They're so forgiving. Getting a bit narrow now. It's all farming, isn't it? Some lovely trees along here. One there's just getting some leaves on, I think. And the hedging on the right hand side there has been laid a bit. Make it stronger. All looks so green. And so obviously some big houses up in there too. Climbing again. This is where you get that lovely exhaust sound. Now popping down hill a bit. Well, it's not popping, is it? It's just it's running downhill. I think as these engines run in, the poppiness goes, which is much to be preferred, I think. I don't like that poppiness. I associate that to a weaker mixture or an air leak. Now we go off to the left here, and there's a house for sale if anybody is interested. We will pass it in a moment. But first of all, we're going to park up the other side of the bridge and have a look at the River Dee. He's got my parking space. I wanted to go there. I'll go behind him, but can't quite get such a nice view of the motorcycle. Mustn't be greedy. We should all have to enjoy this, shouldn't we? So yes, I'm going to pop here and have a little walk about. Where's this going to take us? I'll go along here. I've just noticed myself, I'm mumbling to myself there. It's one of the problems of being on your own. I do tend to talk to myself an awful lot, which is why I don't talk into a microphone when I'm riding. I want to meditate. Anyway, we're going to try down this little lane here, which is the one that I thought I might have a little look at and see where it takes us. Well, I've a pretty good idea now where it's going to take us. And it's going to take us eventually past a farm called Holm Open Farm. There's the place for sale, if you fancy that. In need of some renovation, I expect. How much is that? Right by the river too. I don't fancy that if it floods. As inevitably it will at times. There's a D over on our right. Going past. And apart from the odd bit of farm traffic, we're not going to get much along here, and the odd cyclist. It is on a cycleway, but I don't see many cyclists along here. Probably wait for the summer. Be sensible. Although actually I like this. Huge amount of moss and lichen grown on these walls. And this was the first delight I came across. Gated road, I didn't appreciate that. Open land the other side, and then another gate. So we're going to have to park here and open it. Decided it was much easier just to push it through rather than try and ride it. Well, this is the first thing. Right, we can carry on now then for a bit. Right, here's our other gate. And just the other side of this is a railway bridge. It's the disused railway from Ingleton to Sedbergh that we saw in the first part of this ride. So we'll have a look over at the railway bed for that. Must be the old railway line. Old railway line this. Old railway line. Through the gate. Lovely bridge. The old railway line to Sedbergh. You can tell I enjoyed that. This is where I was a little bit unsure of the way, so I thought I'd better just check and stop and have a look at the signposting, and I realised that the farm is actually over on the right hand side and it's all a bit mucky, so I didn't actually walk across the mud. So you caught a glimpse of my jacket there in that mirror. Yes, very muddy. Yeah, we've decided we know the way. Avoiding that mud again. Riding through this mud has made me realise I don't actually want to be doing much of that. I did think at one time it might be quite nice to do some green lane stuff, but no, I'm quite happy on these sort of lanes with a bit of grass down the middle. And as we're riding down these sort of little lanes, I just wanted to say a little hello to Martin Trafford, the moorland biker, who has just had an operation on his back, and his latest video is all about his past, what he used to do. He started engineering and then moved into the police, and then he did rural policing, which sounded very interesting. So if you want to catch up with Martin Trafford, please do so, and I hope you're recovering very gently, Martin. Don't go overdoing things, and we hope to see you back on that Himalayan once more. Yes, this is quite enough for me in terms of rough stuff. Rough stuff? Very gentle, isn't it? Yes. Those of you that do actually do some rough stuff, not for me. Well, I hope you've enjoyed these this double parter and the sort of new format of doing a little bit of a walk around. I'll try and extend that a little bit now I've got a bit more practice at it, and show a few more things about the area that I ride through. As you know from past experience, I do ride quite slowly through these things. I like to see where I'm going, and you never know what's around the next corner. I really don't want to ride into a tractor. They're pretty big and immovable, so I shall continue as I do. Hopefully I shall have sorted that clacking on the camera. I think I have. I spent a little bit of time working on it today, and I think I know what the problem was. So yes, thank you very much for joining me on this ride, and here we are coming up to the major road, which is the road that runs from Kirkby Lonsdale up to Sedbergh. So thanks ever so much for watching, and I hope to see you on another ride quite soon. Bye for now.